I have friends that say, I can definitely tell the difference between a red wine and a white wine. I know that they look different and they taste different. Anything beyond that doesn't make any sense to me. They can laugh and say, someone can serve me a red wine, a Pinot Noir. For all I know, it could be a Merlot. And everyone rants and raves about how beautiful the wine is, how round it is, how expressive it is. One of the most fabulous they've ever tasted. He thinks and sometimes even says out loud, give it a break. Besides, I can't tell a good wine from a bad wine. They all taste the same to me. How do you know the difference, good from bad? That's what we're going to look at and learn about. We're going to see why one wine is better than another. We're going to look at the 5 qualities that make up a wine. Those qualities that take a good wine to a great wine. We're going to look at the varietal character, the integration, the expressiveness, complexity, and number 5, typicity or connectedness. Plus I have a little bonus at the end of the video. These 5 qualities are the pieces to a jigsaw puzzle that when put together and when put together properly, you end up with a great wine. Once you finish with this video, you'll know the difference between a good wine and a great wine and will be tasting like a pro. Now keep in mind, if at any time you like what you hear, click like or make a comment below. The first thing we're going to look at is varietal character. This is when a young wine that's been made from a single grape varietal presents its inherent grape aromas and flavors in a straightforward, clear, and focused way. Let me give you an example on how this works with something that we are a little bit more familiar with. Most of us can tell the difference in both taste and smell between a couple of red apples, a Fuji and a Gala apple. Same thing with red grapes. There's a difference between Cabernet Sauvignon and Pinot Noir. Or actually a couple of green apples, a Granny Smith and a Golden Delicious. And 2 green grapes, a Chardonnay and a Sauvignon Blanc grape. Each apple and each grape has its own smell and taste. That's varietal character. The second thing we're going to look at is integration. This is when the components of a wine, like the acid, tannins, and alcohol, are so interwoven that no one characteristic or component stands out. All the components have come together in a harmonious fusion. Actually, you might want to check out one of my other videos, How to Taste Wines, the Components. There we deal with acid, tannins, alcohol, and the other components. Getting back to integration, this is the bedrock upon which all judgment rests. An average or good wine presents itself like a star in your mouth. You can taste each point of the star, the acidity, the tannins, the distinctive oak. By comparison, a wonderful or great wine has all the components integrated together. The wine presents itself like a sphere in your mouth, so that you hear people say that the wine is round. It's so harmonious, you cannot easily grab onto any single component or point of the star. Integration is when the components are so interwoven that one characteristic or component does not stand out. The third thing is expressiveness. Some would call this intensity. This is the quality a wine presents when its aromas and flavors are well defined and clearly projected. This has to do with both the nose or the smell and the palate or the flavor or taste of the wine. Is it easy or difficult to smell and taste what's in the glass? Some wines seem to jump out of the glass at you. They're clear and focused. These are expressive wines, while other wines seem muddled or diffused. We might call these wines shy. Think of it this way. A picture on an out-of-focused black and white TV with an old antenna would be shy, compared to the same image on a 5G color TV. That image would be clear, focused, expressive. How are you doing there? Is this information making sense? If it is, write Asti in the comments below. The fourth thing is complexity. This is a little difficult to explain. This is not a thing, but more like a phenomenon. With a complex wine, you don't think in terms of the single characteristics like its fruit flavors or acidity, like we talked about earlier, but there's something about that wine that's compelling. After you've tasted it, there's something that pulls you back or that draws you back to the wine and compels you to have another smell or take another sip, because each time you do, you find something different, something new. Have you ever been to a movie, read a book, or experienced a piece of art where after seeing the movie, sometime later a scene pops into your head for no apparent reason, and a day or two later a different scene pops up? You think, what does that mean? Or you think about a scene and realize it could have had a different meaning than I had originally interpreted it. There's something about that movie or book that keeps drawing you back. Frequently, a complex wine is said to have layers. There's a little something different on each sip that keeps drawing you back for more. All that is what's involved in the wine's complexity. The fifth quality is connectedness or typicity. This is perhaps the most elusive of the qualities and the most difficult quality for many people to wrap their heads around. It's the bond between the grape and the plot of land it was grown on or born in. There are two pieces to this. Number one is the degree a wine demonstrates the characteristics of the grape, the varietal character, the Granny Smith apple of the grape. Plus, number two, the degree it reflects the place or region of the world the grape comes from. A grape varietal from a different region of the country or part of the world will taste different than the same grape varietal from a different part of the world. The taste difference is because they grew in a different place with different climate, different soil, different elevation, and other factors. Let's apply that to a wine. You might say maybe a Pinot Noir from Burgundy, France, and a Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley, Oregon. If you take your time and give it a little thought, you'll taste the difference. They'll taste like, number one, the varietal Pinot Noir, but you'll also be able to taste a slight difference because of number two, the place they're from. As you intentionally drink more wine, you begin to taste what the Pinot Noir from Burgundy is supposed to taste like. So when you taste a Pinot from Burgundy, you ask yourself, is this a good representation, a moderate representation, or a poor representation of a Pinot grape from Burgundy? Putting these two together is connectedness. Well, there you have it. The 5 pieces of the puzzle determining the difference between a good wine and a great wine. You've got everything you need to know about how to taste wine and what makes wine a great wine. Well, almost. Hang in there for a quick added bonus at the end. But first, let me thank you for investing the time to watch this video. I trust it was helpful. If it was, make sure you subscribe, click like, and ring the little bell to be notified when I post other videos. Let me know if you have any comments below. And if there's someone you know that's interested in wine, make sure you share this video with them. I'd really appreciate that. Also, as I mentioned earlier, there's another video that may prove to be helpful to you. How to taste wine, the components. You might want to check that one out. All right, are you ready for the added bonus? As you're around wine more and more, you'll hear the terms balanced, round, and harmonious. A wine being balanced, round, and harmonious is like saying it's well integrated. Quality wines are marked by a balance of their components: acid, tannins, residual sugar, sweetness, flavors, length. Like integration, it's when all the components of the wine are so interwoven that no one characteristic or component stands out. I hope this added a little extra insight. Folks, again, thanks for joining me. I'm here to help and serve you as we learn more about wine together. If you're looking for some wonderful wines, check out my website below. And don't forget to enter your discount code, ASTI Wines, at checkout. Again, the discount code is ASTI Wines. I look forward to you joining me on social media and on my website. All those links are in the description below. Until next time. Cheers.